If you're looking into getting into the ATM business and you've done all your research, you opened up an LLC, you have your $2,000 for vaulting, and you landed a location and it's under contract and your ATM shipped yesterday, but you're missing the most important thing of the whole entire business, which is a bank account, then this video is for you. Don't worry, I got you, because I know what it's like to be struggling to find a bank account. It took me forever to even open up my bank account. And when I was looking up research, I couldn't find anything on it. And the things that I did find, it was so confusing. I didn't even know if I was doing anything correct. So in today's video, I'm literally gonna hand you everything on a silver platter. That way you can open up your bank account fairly easily. Because honestly, this is the easiest part of the entire business. And if you can figure this out, trust me, you'll be able to handle running this business. First, before you go into any bank, there's a couple of things that you're going to need to make the whole process go seamless. Because believe it or not, you're going to run into a teller that doesn't even know what the heck an ATM business is, and it's just gonna make the whole entire thing frustrating. Trust me, I've been there already. You are going to need an LLC, a limited liability company. This is going to prove to the bank that you are a legit entity, a legit company that's gonna be able to open up a business account. Second, you're going to need $2,000, and this is vaulting money. And you don't necessarily have to have $2,000, but this is what I always recommend everyone to start with. Another thing you're going to need is the ATM contract for the location that you just got. Now, you don't necessarily need this, but it's just gonna make the whole process go seamless if you already have a location under contract. And if you have the physical ATM, then that's great as well, but honestly, you don't even need it at this point. And there's a couple of things that I don't think I need to mention because it's the obvious, but make sure you bring your ID, your social, your EIN number, and your proof of address. This process is the same way as opening up a regular business account. Once you have all of these things, you're ready to start searching for a bank. When searching for a bank, let's start with all the banks you don't want to start with. And I'm talking about Chase, Wells Fargo, Commerce, Bank of America, all these big national banks. They do not like businesses like us. I don't know why. Maybe because a long time ago there was some fraud with the ATM business. Either way, they're not very friendly to businesses like us. Now, you may be in a different state compared to where I'm at. Now, I live in California and I know my big banks. You probably know your big banks. However, those big banks, stay away from them. They're not gonna help you at all. You wanna go to your local small banks. These are the guys you're gonna be looking for. And I'm gonna give you some banks that I have found to help myself and helped others. And this is going to vary between states because every state has different banks. Now, the personal bank that I use is US Bank. But there's a bunch of other banks as well, such as Banner Bank, Hemi Bank, Region Bank, or better yet, just try your local credit union. You have to just go to a small bank and keep on trying and see if they can help you. When it comes to looking for a bank, you want to aim for small local banks. These types of banks are more helpful, and it's a matter of just simply going on Google and looking for local credit unions or your local bank and just trying to go for all the small ones. And I'm pretty sure it's not rocket science to figure out which ones are like national big banks. Now, once you compile a list of all your local banks, the next step to do is to literally go to the bank. And don't be scared, they don't bite. Remember, banks want you to open up a business account. They want your business. So don't be afraid to just go in there and talk to somebody. They're gonna be more than happy to open up a business account for you. Now, when you go to the bank, they're going to ask you about your business. What kind of business are you running? And this is where it gets confusing. You're gonna want to make sure that you tell the teller that you wanna open up a business bank account, and you're gonna need two accounts. One's gonna be a regular checkings account, and this is where all your income and profits are gonna go to. The other bank account is going to be a vaulting bank account, meaning you're going to tell them that you're going to be withdrawing large amounts of money in the forms of 20s. So this is going to be a specialty account. And this is where your teller might get confused, because once you tell them this, they're going to think that you're a money service business, an MSB, which you're not. MSBs are usually currency dealers or exchangers. all of which you are not. And this right here is where I become valuable. And if you follow me and comment below, I'll actually give you a letter from the Department of Treasury explaining what an ATM business is and explaining to the teller that you are not an MSB. Or you can just Google it, so that way you can prove to them that you know what type of bank account you're trying to open. Because a lot of tellers are gonna get confused at this phase. You're not gonna know what kind of bank account you're trying to open. They're gonna confuse you for an MSB. Once you show them this letter, then they can easily read it and see what the proper guidelines for your type of business is. So if you want this letter, I'll send it completely free. Just send me a message, comment below, whatever it is that you need to do to contact me. I'm gonna send it for you, or better yet, just Google it. Google a Department of Treasury ATM explanation. So another thing before you leave the bank that I know I need to mention is the fact that you need 2 bank accounts. Don't forget that. One bank account is gonna be for your profits, and the other bank account is gonna be your vaulting money, hence why you need the $2,000. This is where you're gonna be getting your 20s from. You're not gonna wanna mix both of these accounts because that's how people commingle their funds, and when it comes to tax season, it's gonna make the whole bookkeeping more complicated, and you don't want any of that. Keep 2 separate bank accounts, that way it makes the whole entire process seamless, and you know exactly how much money you're making and how much money you're using to process in your ATM. This is gonna avoid having any bookkeeping headaches, and trust me, you don't want any of that. And if you have any questions, again, don't be afraid to message me. Another important thing that I wanna point out, it's not gonna work your first time. Do not give up. I did not open up my bank account until the 4th try. You might have to try 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. Heck, it might take you the 7th time before you can open up a business bank account because the tellers that you're dealing with just don't know what they're doing. But if you paid attention to this video, I promise you the process might even take you 1 time. Just make sure you have everything I mentioned earlier and you'll be completely fine. Don't give up. Keep talking to all your local banks and I'm sure you're going to find one. Hopefully by now you got your bank account and you're ready to take on the world. The last thing I want to mention to you guys, because this is fairly important because it gives me a headache how some people can be so rude to their tellers. I know I don't need to mention this to everyone, but if you're an individual that just doesn't know how to be nice to people, pay attention. Your teller is literally seeing you every week. Be nice to your tellers. They're helping you every single week. Build a connection with them. I know that my teller, if it wasn't for her taking care of me, dude, she's practically part of my team. I wouldn't be in the position I am without her help. She goes a long way to make sure that I'm successful. And I'm sure your teller will too, as long as you're nice to her. That's why sometimes I go ahead and bring gift cards or a coffee to my teller because she's seeing me like twice a week. And there's times where she goes out of her way to make sure that my business is running smoothly. And I'm sure your tellers would do the exact same thing if you're nice. Be nice to people. Hopefully you found some value in this video. Hopefully by the end of this video, you found the confidence that you need to go open up your business bank account. Trust me, it's a lot easier than you think. So if you did find some value, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.